Dzień dobry Państwu, witam w sobotę, 10 dzień stycznia i zapraszam na noworoczne przyjęcie Kongresu Polonii Kanadyjskiej. Panie ambasadorze, jaki to był rok dla stosunków polsko-kanadyjskich?
Znowu bardzo dobry.
Lepszy niż poprzedni?
No, trudno powiedzieć, mamy ciąg rzeczywiście takich dobrych lat dla stosunków polsko-kanadyjskich i każdego roku coś dzieje się dobrego. W tym roku mieliśmy kolejne umowy podpisane, między innymi bardzo ważna umowa o wymianie informacji niejawnych, która jest bardzo istotna w przypadku współpracy przemysłów obronnych i to jest temat taki nowy, który się rozwija. Nową rzeczą jest jakby ten postęp rozwoju tej współpracy. Mieliśmy dużo dobrych rzeczy w przestrzeni gospodarczej, które się wydarzyły. Rozpoczęliśmy rok od tematu energetycznego, od podpisanej NCA, Nuclear Cooperation Agreement. To jest bardzo duża rzecz i poważna.
Co z tymi reaktorami modułowymi? Będą w Polsce czy nie?
No, taki jest plan. Wygląda to bardzo, bardzo poważnie. Z roku na rok coraz bardziej. To nie jest prosta decyzja, poza tym też w Polsce parę rzeczy musi się wydarzyć, żeby ta budowa ruszyła. Po pierwsze, tutaj musi się zadziać, w Kanadzie. Polskie firmy współpracują z OPG i z innymi partnerami tutaj w Ontario bardzo blisko. Pojawił się też nowy temat, dlatego że Kanada została dopuszczona w tym roku do takiego wstępnych procedur przetargowych, jeżeli chodzi o duże bloki, jeżeli chodzi o branżę jądrową w Polsce, dlatego że pierwszy duży blok w Polsce jest budowany przez Westinghouse i to jest jasne, to też firmę kanadyjską, co to jakby, żeby było jasne.
Własnością kanadyjską.
Jest własnością kanadyjską, tak? Natomiast otwieramy się też na CANDU Reactors, jeżeli chodzi o procedurę przetargową, więc zobaczymy, może z tego coś również będzie. Natomiast te małe reaktory modułowe dalej są jakby wprowadzane w Polsce i to jest najbardziej zaawansowany projekt, któremu mocno kibicujemy.
Czy zwiększa się obecność biznesu polskiego w Kanadzie? Wiem, że jest inwestycja KGHM tutaj niedaleko w Sudbury
tak.
również. Ale właśnie, jak to wygląda w liczbach? Może Pan to podać? Czy...
Statystyk dokładnych nie podam, statystyk nie posiadam, dlatego że biznes rządzi się własnymi prawami, tak powinno być. Nie zawsze biznes potrzebuje obecności dyplomacji, potrafi sam załatwiać sobie swoje sprawy. Natomiast w tej przestrzeni biznesowej bardzo mamy duży postęp. Przykład branża gamingowa. W tym roku ambasada zorganizowała taki duży, chciałem już powiedzieć duży event, duże wydarzenie gamingowe w Montrealu. I tutaj nasze firmy już są obecne, a zwiększają swoją obecność dodatkowo. Mamy takie firmy jak potęgi globalne, jak CD Projekt, obecne w Vancouver, ale też planują otwarcie biura w Montrealu. Mamy Platige, polską firmę, która też jest potęgą globalną i otwiera swoje biuro, już otworzyła swoje biuro w Montrealu. Mamy inne firmy, które są obecne i wchodzą tutaj na rynek tych właśnie nowych technologii, takich bardzo popularnych. W przestrzeni gospodarczej w tym roku mamy ciekawy postęp w branży lotniczej, która w relacji polsko-kanadyjskiej jest bardzo silna. Jest obecność duża kanadyjskich firm w Polsce od wielu lat.
Pratt & Whitney było dane.
Między innymi Pratt & Whitney i Pratt & Whitney, która jest firmą globalną, poza Kanadą największą obecność ma właśnie w Polsce. W Rzeszowie, ale nie tylko, pod Rzeszowem i nie tylko. Ale ten taki duży kontrakt w tym roku został ogłoszony przez LOT. Kupujemy od Airbusa 40 samolotów.
Bo to jest samolot, który jest budowany w Kanadzie praktycznie.
Tak, w Quebecu. Także to są rzeczywiście duże rzeczy i też o tym to raczej tak powiedziałbym, otwarcie powiem, raczej miękko, ale wojna handlowa amerykańsko-kanadyjska prócz swych takich, powiedziałbym, trudnych odsłon tutaj oczywiście w Kanadzie, muszę przyznać, że ma pozytywny wpływ na relacje gospodarcze wielu sektorów w relacjach polsko-kanadyjskich.
Kanada chce mieć lewar w Europie, także żeby równoważyć te amerykańskie stosunki.
I to rzeczywiście premier Carney stara się wprowadzać w sposób taki po prostu wyraźny. Natomiast już w tym roku widzimy olbrzymi postęp, przykładowo w branży spożywczej. Obecność produktów spożywczych polskich zdecydowanie wzrosła. Wystarczy pójść do Walmarta, zobaczyć, co tam się dzieje. Także to są rzeczy ciekawe i dobre dla Polski.
Miejmy nadzieję, że ten rok będzie również dobry dla stosunków polsko-kanadyjskich. I na koniec pana zapytam, a co z biegiem Hallera? Czy będzie w tym roku?
Z biegiem Hallerów.
Tak.
Już dyskutowaliśmy o tym parę razy, tak, dlatego że w moim przekonaniu bieg Hallerów, wszyscy jesteśmy Hallerami tutaj w Kanadzie, dla nas wszystkich pamięć o błękitnej armii w Kanadzie jest bardzo ważna, więc dla mnie jest to bieg Hallerów, a nie tylko bieg jednego generała.
Myśli pan, że będzie to bardziej popularne w tym roku, że też będzie wizyta, nie wiem, sportowców wojskowych z Polski?
Zawsze są i zakładam, że w tym roku również będą. Bieg jest bardzo taki, powiedziałbym, co roku jest bardzo taki pozytywny, ciepły, radosny, rodzinny. Mogłoby być troszeczkę więcej ludzi, ale niewiele więcej, bo bieg jest przewidziany na 100 osób. To jest bieg taki...
Ale reklamujemy, mimo to.
Bardzo proszę o reklamowanie tego biegu. W tym roku będziemy ponownie go realizować. Znowu będziemy mieć najprawdopodobniej patronaty ministrów obrony Polski i Kanady oraz masę różnych wspaniałych nagród od różnych polskich i kanadyjskich VIP-ów. Także zachęcam w czerwcu na marginesie pielgrzymki do cmentarza Hallerczyków.
No właśnie, ma pan nadzieję, że ta świadomość tego czynu zbrojnego Polonii amerykańskiej będzie większa w Polsce? Właśnie...
Promujemy. Wie pan, na przykład bieg Hallerów w Polsce się dobrze sprzedawał, był w mediach polskich wiele razy. To, że jest to impreza wiązana, że jest to impreza, która dzieje się w Jurczycach, w miejscu urodzenia generała Józefa Hallera, no i dzieje się również tutaj, łączy te środowiska i to dobrze rezonuje. Bardzo mnie cieszy to, że organizatorzy, zwycięzcy biegów jeżdżą do Polski, jeżdżą do Jurczyc, spotykają się z partnerami tam na miejscu. Delegacja z Jurczyc regularnie przyjeżdża również tutaj na bieg Hallerów na miejsce. No i oczywiście żołnierze ze Szczecina, także są tutaj stałymi gośćmi.
Panie ambasadorze, dziękuję bardzo i wszystkiego dobrego na nowy rok.
Wszystkiego dobrego. Dzięki wielkie.
Jaki to był rok dla Kongresu Polonii Kanadyjskiej?
Bardzo pracowity, bardzo intensywny. Mamy teraz już kilka takich stałych inicjatyw, takich jak oczywiście Parada 3 maja, Miesiąc Dziedzictwa Polskiego w Kanadzie oraz Young Polonia Leadership Summit w Ottawie, które stanowią taki trzon naszej pracy społecznej. I myślę, że następny rok będzie jeszcze lepszy. Mamy wspaniały zarząd, dobrą współpracę z organizacjami w całej Kanadzie. Cieszymy się, że jednak jako Polonia kanadyjska różnimy się od innych Polonii, gdzie są jakieś spory, jakieś problemy. My jesteśmy zgodni, współpracujemy i działamy wspólnie w interesie Polonii kanadyjskiej.
A jak to wygląda na linii współpracy Polska-Polonia kanadyjska? Wiem, że Polska staje się coraz bardziej aktywna, wspiera tutaj niektóre wydarzenia, finansuje pewne projekty. A jak to jest? Czy Polonia, nie wiem, czy to jest pomyślnik Kongres Polonii Kanadyjskiej, czy też Polska stosuje swoją własną politykę w tej zakresie?
Ja myślę, że to jest wynik po prostu efektywności Kongresu i naszej organizacji. Jesteśmy postrzegani przez Polskę przez wszystkie instytucje jako poważni partnerzy. I myślę, że to nam służy, że jednak chcą współpracować z nami, chcą organizować wspólne przedsięwzięcia. Oczywiście cieszymy się z tego, że działamy niezależnie, jesteśmy organizacją, która od 93 lat już w tym roku utrzymuje się z własnych środków, więc cieszymy się, że te relacje są partnerskie i że jesteśmy poważnym partnerem do rozmów, do współpracy, szczególnie jeżeli chodzi o relacje z instytucjami kanadyjskimi, z rządem kanadyjskim.
A jak współpraca młodzieży? Bo no, tutaj wszyscy na tę młodzież liczymy. Mamy piękne harcerstwo, zespoły młodzieżowe i tak dalej. Czy to układa się również we współpracę taką z grupami w Polsce, z młodzieżą w Polsce? Bo chyba to jest najważniejsze, jeśli mówimy o przyszłości.
Tak, no są inicjatywy organizowane przez rząd polski, w których młodzi ludzie brali udział. Polonia Camp w ubiegłym roku i tak dalej, ale najważniejsze dla nas to jest to, co robimy tutaj. I właśnie ten Young Polonia Leadership Summit w Ottawie, który odbył się już po raz trzeci, dał nam szansę na to, żeby przygotować nowych liderów. Mamy osoby młode, które chcą się zapisać do naszych istniejących organizacji. Stowarzyszenie Inżynierów Polskich, harcerstwo i tak dalej. I to nas cieszy, bo to był taki nasz warunek. Organizujemy to spotkanie z politykami, z ambasadą. Dla tych młodych ludzi pokazujemy im, co jest możliwe, ale też, że oczekujemy od nich, że się poświęcą, się zaangażują i będą utrzymywać to wszystko, co zostało przez tyle lat.
Czyli organizacje polonijne jeszcze nie umierają?
Nie. No, oczywiście demograficzne problemy mamy. Musimy się zastanowić, jak się z tym zmierzymy. Nie będzie to się polepszało z oczywistych względów, że nie przybywa Polaków w Kanadzie, ale mamy odpowiedzialność, żeby to utrzymać i jest wystarczająco tej młodej Polonii, która się utożsamia ze swoją polskością, z tradycjami, z kulturą i chcą swoją cegiełkę wnieść w budowanie tej Polonii i będziemy ich wspierać i angażować w naszą pracę.
Bardzo dziękuję i wszystkiego dobrego na Nowy Rok.
Wzajemnie.
Welcome to the Canadian-Polish Congress annual New Year's wafer reception. My name is Paulina Guszczoda, and I have the privilege of serving as General Secretary of the Canadian-Polish Congress. I'll also be your Master of Ceremonies tonight. On behalf of President Dominik Roszak and the entire Board of Directors, it is our great privilege and pleasure to host you this evening as we gather to celebrate the new year with the cherished Polish tradition of sharing the Oplatek. To begin our celebration, I invite you all to please rise for the singing of the national anthems of Canada and Poland.
With glowing hearts, we sing, rise, that run are strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God give our land glorious and free. Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła, gdy my żyjemy. Co nam obca przemoc dzieła, szablą odbierzemy. Marsz, marsz Dąbrowski, z ziemi włoskiej do Polski, za Twoim przewodem złączymy się z narodem. Marsz, marsz Dąbrowski, z ziemi włoskiej do Polski, za Twoim przewodem złączymy się z narodem.
Dobry wieczór Państwu. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight. Round of applause for our MC. Finally, I don't have to do this. Paulina. It's my honor to welcome you to this event. For decades, the Canadian Polish Congress has upheld the beautiful tradition of sharing the Oplatek during our annual New Year levee. This simple yet profound act of breaking bread together is a reminder of what unites us: our shared culture, our enduring traditions, our faith, and our commitment to serving others through community work. Each of us here, board members, leaders of our Congress districts and Polish organizations from across Ontario and Canada, are volunteers. We dedicate our time, energy, and passion because we want to honor the legacy of our Polish forebears, strengthen the foundations of the community they built, and contribute to the growth of our cities, provinces, and this great country we call home, Canada. It is truly heartening to see so many of you here today, along with our special guests, among them esteemed diplomats and elected officials, as well as the many warm messages we have received. I wish I could thank each and every one of you individually, but please know that your contributions are really, truly appreciated. This gathering is a time for us to connect, celebrate our collective achievements, including Polish Heritage Month in Canada, the Polish Constitution Day Parade, the Young Polonia Leadership Summit, and to reaffirm the bonds that make our community so vibrant and resilient. And I almost forgot my next task, which is to invite Ms. Margaret May to lead us in the singing of Silent Night.
Cicha noc, święta noc, narodzony Boży Syn, Pan wielkiego majestatu, niesie dziś całemu światu odkupienie
We'd like to start with, of course, our distinguished guests. I invite His Excellency Ambassador Witold Jelski to bring greetings on behalf of the Republic of Poland.
Najważniejszy temat. Proszę Państwa, dziękuję Państwu za świetną współpracę, która ma miejsce z Kongresem Polonii Kanadyjskiej, pod parasolem Kongresu oczywiście, za Waszą aktywność, za Waszą pracę, za to wszystko, co robicie, te wszystkie wspaniałe inicjatywy, które są realizowane przez poszczególne organizacje w całej Kanadzie. Byłem w wielu miejscach, widziałem, mam przyjemność uczestniczenia w wydarzeniach. Chciałbym oczywiście być na wszystkich, no to oczywiście nie jest możliwe, ale wykonujecie Państwo świetną pracę, za co Państwu bardzo, bardzo dziękuję. Pan prezes wspomniał o miesiącu dziedzictwa, o paradzie dziejącej się tutaj w Toronto, o naszej wspólnej inicjatywie Young Polonia Leaders Summit. Spektakularne rzeczy. Also, except for the so many events which are happening, Polonia is a wonderful lobbying power. And this is something that the embassy is always happy to support. And we work closely with Polish Canadian Congress, and this is the most solid. There are many wonderful organizations in Canada, but in terms of the influence of when I need Dominic to, I don't need because I should not say it like this, but Dominic is the person that is able to go to Peter and just twist his arms and say, well, listen, you got to do that, and and Peter, how do you react? What do you do? Exactly. Yes, that's how it works. So thank you to the Congress and to all the Polish organizations, Polonia organizations, for being so successful in terms of having a great relationship with your Canadian politicians. You're wonderful Canadian patriots and Polish patriots, and it makes all the sense. In the end, as every diplomat, I'm horribly self-centered, egoistic, and I am obviously a buffoon. And in this regard, I will just say that this past year was wonderful to me because I received the Paderewski Medal from the Polish-Canadian Congress, which I'm very proud of, and thank you for that. Also received from the other organization, the competent Polish competent association, the Golden Cross, which was a wonderful decoration as well, and because this is the other biggest organizations, Polish community organization in Canada. And I also got this thing for being the ambassador of the year in Canada, and saying that means that I'm complete buffoon, but that was a wonderful recognition, and I wanted to share it with you because it means that I'm actually doing my work, which you expect me to do.
Next, I'd like to invite Minister Graham McGregor, who is joining us as a representative of the Government of Ontario.
Thank you for that, and good evening, everyone. And I guess first I'll thank President Dominic Rozak and the whole team for breaking protocol. I'm sorry, since they appointed me as a Minister of Multiculturalism, they are just working me like a dog. So I got two things I got to get to before we go home tonight, and hopefully catch the third period of the Leafs. But it's great to be here with so many colleagues. I do want to say, I believe it was Margaret who was singing. Could we give Margaret another round of applause? I thought the national anthems were fabulous, Silent Night was fabulous, and I think one of the beautiful things about coming to these events is we realize a commonality between Polish cultures and Canadian cultures, and when I talked about the Polish contributions to entrepreneurship, I think there's something that we can learn, that Canada can learn from the Polish nation and Polish culture, which is to say the history of the Polish has been very tested over centuries, and defending your culture and defending your sovereignty is something that I know isn't lost on anybody in this room, how important that is. That's something that we need to do in Canada. Being a country only in our current form since 1867, we're a very young country, and we want to be around for, we're over 150 years old now. We want to be here not only for the next 150, the next 1,000 years, and we need to make sure that we get things right. And we hope that you in this room will hold all of us and the government accountable to make sure that we get those things right.
It's a great honor to be here today. I break things easily, so please forgive me. Actually, my birth name was Karolina Janaszewska, and my grandparents all came from Poland. My dad was the first Polish guy to get onto the Toronto Police Department because they didn't take people with funny names. They were all Irish or British. And there's someone waving back there. I have a very short story for you, and it's to do with one of our prime ministers, Mr. Kretchen. He rounded us all up. He was going to visit Poland, and he wanted to take any of us who had Polish background in us. So we were at this massive banquet, and everybody had white gloves, and it was all very formal. And 3 or 4 of the crazier Polish MPs that were there, Stan Keyes from Hamilton is one I can think of, decided we were going to sing Stolat, because there was a string quartet there. So I said, I'm not doing that. This is a very formal event. Oh, yeah, you got to come up. So we all went up, and I thought, okay, end of my career. We sang Stolat, and the interesting part was all the head tables stood up, clutched their hearts, and sang with us. So the whole room stood up and sang with us. Later that night, we're going back to the hotel, and Mr. Kretchen never ate at banquets. And he's sitting with Elin at the entrance to the restaurant there. You come here. So I went over, and he says, what the heck was that? I said, well, that's a very serious song. It's wishing you 100 years of good health. And he said, and I said, the rest of them were doing it. Why are you picking on me? He said, well, I thought you were the smartest of that crew and you would have known better. And I said, no, I'm the Polish of that crew and I love doing it. But it was a real honor to go to Poland with him. The only other faux pas I had my daughter with me, and everybody at one of the little cottages outside of Warsaw were drinking strawberry juice. And I thought, I'll drink strawberry juice. No, it wasn't. It was straight vodka with strawberries in it. And the thing is interesting, I spoke Polish till I was 5. And then once my babcia passed away, I kind of lost it. I used to speak to her in English, she would speak to me in Polish. So my daughter's watching me, and I said, what are you looking at me for? She said, you had 3 strawberry drinks, and you're answering them in Polish. So it's back there somewhere, folks. Probably a bonk on the head or a couple of strawberry vodkas, and I could start up speaking in Polish. Anyway, it's a wonderful honor to be here. My parents were one of the original people that helped build the church and very involved in building the John Paul II Community Center. And I was here at a meeting a couple of months ago where they're talking about adding a gymnasium to it. So all levels of government have to pitch in, kids, and we have to help build that. That's how you keep the young people together, you keep them in their culture, and you keep them out of trouble. I think sports are really important, and I think the gymnasium is a wonderful project, and I'm here to help. So thank you very much. Thanks for having me this evening.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Okay, now going back to original protocol, I now invite representatives from the Government of Canada, MPs Fonseca and Maloney, to bring greetings. Okay, yes. Okay, we're gonna resume protocol, starting again with the Consul General Mark Ciesielczuk to say a few words at the podium.
Very sorry for this mess, so with your permission I'll start in Polish, then I switch into English. Szanowni Państwo, drodzy goście, to dla mnie wielki zaszczyt, że mogę uczestniczyć w dzisiejszym spotkaniu noworocznym KPK, organizacji, która od dziesięcioleci jest najważniejszym filarem życia polonijnego w Polsce. Pragnę w pierwszej kolejności podziękować gospodarzom dzisiejszego wydarzenia za zaproszenie oraz za ich nieustające zaangażowanie w pielęgnowanie polskiej tożsamości, języka, kultury i pamięci historycznej. Szczególne słowa powitania kieruję do gościa honorowego, pana ambasadora RP w Ottawie, pana Witolda Dziurskiego, którego obecność podkreśla rangę dzisiejszego spotkania oraz siłę więzi łączących Polskę z Polonią kanadyjską. Drodzy Państwo, początek roku to czas refleksji, ale także nadziei i odpowiedzialności. Żyjemy w okresie dynamicznych zmian i niepewności, które stawiają przed nami nowe wyzwania, zarówno tutaj w Ameryce Północnej, jak i w Europie. W tych okolicznościach szczególne znaczenia mają takie słowa jak solidarność, wspólnota, umiejętność budowania mostów między narodami i pokoleniami. A Polonia kanadyjska od lat udowadnia, że potrafi łączyć przywiązanie do polskich korzeni z aktywnym i odpowiedzialnym uczestnictwem w życiu społecznym Kanady. Jestem przekonany, że właśnie ta podwójna perspektywa polska i kanadyjska stanowi ogromną wartość i siłę, z której wszyscy możemy być dumni.
Dziękujemy serdecznie. Okay, sorry guys. Back to our Government of Canada MPs, Fonseca and Maloney.
And it's because we are so proud of the Polish communities that we represent, both in Etobicoke Lakeshore, and James will speak to that, and myself here in Mississauga, East Cooksville, the largest Canadian Polish community in all of Canada. And you know, the community has supported us, and that's why we support the community. So when it came to us through Dominic Roczek and the Canadian Polish Congress and all of the branches and all of the veterans and the teachers and the scouts and of course the ambassador and the consul, they came to us and said, we need a Polish Culture and Heritage Month to be recognized in Ottawa. and you lifted us up. It was you that gave us the support to be able to get all of our colleagues in Parliament on side to understand, and they understood because we have a diaspora of 1.2, 1.3 million, the Polonia here in Canada, across Canada. And it was through the stories and the culture and the heritage that we were able to speak with conviction and be so proud of the communities that we represent the Polish community.
Thanks, Peter. I thought maybe you were asking me to read this because it was in Gaelic, but I see it's not. Okay, so this is a greeting on behalf of Prime Minister, Right Honourable Mark Carney. I would like to convey my warmest greetings to everyone attending the New Year's wafer reception hosted by the Canadian Polish Congress. This event provides a wonderful opportunity to recognize the important contributions that members of the Polish-Canadian community make to our nation. It is also an occasion to reflect upon the past year and to look ahead with hope and optimism. I would like to thank the Canadian Polish Congress for organizing this event and for celebrating the diversity that enriches our country. I wish everyone a Happy New Year, Right Honourable Mark Carney. I do want to add something to what Peter said. Ambassador, I thought you were going to be Ambassador in perpetuity, actually. Ambassador of the Year, congratulations. I didn't know there was such an award, but if there's somebody who should receive it, it's definitely you, so thank you and congratulations. The Canadians and Polish Canadians have a long history. Poland and Canada have a long history. But you're celebrating 1,000 years. We're not going to catch up. Let's leave it this way. You have a lot of history. We have a lot of geography. How's that for a fair? Okay, but we do have a lot in common, and that's mutual respect, as Peter quite rightly pointed out. Like I represent a community in Etobicoke Lakeshore, which does have a large Polish-Canadian population, but I was born in Thunder Bay in northwestern Ontario, which has a large Polish-Canadian population. So these weren't Polish Canadians to me. These were friends, neighbors, teammates, schoolmates, classmates. It was part of who I am. It always has been and continues to be to this day. And that's why it's such a great privilege to be here along with my friend Peter Fonseca. And why, you know, together along with our colleagues, we're able to get the Polish Heritage Month motion passed, which of course was quite easy because it was a unanimous decision by Parliament. Some things are tough to get through the House of Commons. That was not. And it was done with great enthusiasm, and we're all very, very proud of that.
So we've also received a letter from the Honorary Peer Poliver, which I will now read. Dear friends, on behalf of His Majesty's Loyal Opposition and the Conservative Party of Canada, it is an honor to send my best wishes to the Canadian Polish Congress as you gather together to welcome the new year at the annual holiday wafer reception. The Canadian Polish Congress plays an important role in preserving Poland's proud culture and heritage while ensuring the voices of Canadians of Polish descent are heard in our national conversation. Your work reminds us that Canada is strongest when we honor our roots and pass on our traditions for centuries to come. Every day, Canadians of Polish heritage contribute to their communities in countless ways. Through years of hard work and sacrifice, you have made Canada a richer and more vibrant place, and celebrations like this offer hope for a brighter future. Whether they're auto mechanics and architects, baristas, or business owners, Canadians are struggling to get ahead the way their parents and grandparents did. That's why Conservatives believe in a Canada where lower taxes and less red tape mean workers can work and builders can build, with an immigration system that works so our young people can find good paying jobs and buy affordable homes to raise the next generation. A country that doesn't just sacrifice to survive today, but fights to strive tomorrow. We want a Canada that is the envy of the world, home to the richest, the safest, and the freest people on earth. That is the Canadian way. Sincerely, the Honourable Pierre Poliver, PC, MP. Now for a different multimedia format of greetings. We are also honored to have received a special video message from the Honourable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario. So please bear with me as I walk over to play the video.
Hi everyone, I want to welcome each and every one of you to the Canadian Polish Congress's New Year's wafer reception. I'm so grateful to our Polish community here in Ontario and for all the incredible contributions you make to our great province. Wishing you a wonderful event, all the very best, and God bless.
I know how difficult it is to be in front of the microphone in front of so many people, and then you have all these names that you have to remember to say. And it was really nice to listen to my boss too. It made me feel very much at home. And what I want to say though before I start my remarks is that I do feel at home here every time I come into these halls. And the reason why is not just because you are so warm and so welcoming, it's because of the faith and the culture that you have here at St. John Paul's Center, along with Maximilian Kolbe Church, which I tell you, I am so envious, coming from a different parish with a smaller church. This is, I think, along with the Ukrainian church, is probably the envy of Mississauga. So God bless you for everything that you have done. Not only that, I just want to mention, among our clergy and our special guests, and you are all special guests here tonight, and our elected officials, there was something that the ambassador, that fine ambassador, what he mentioned tonight was that Poland now is up in that area of production in the 20 top countries of the world.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very honored to be here tonight. My name is Chief Sabaw. I'm the MPP from Saga and Mills, the PA for the Minister of Labor, Immigration, Training and Skills Development. And even Dominic asked me many times, what's the secret of my relation with the Polish community? Why the Polish community have a special spot in my heart? And I think after 32 years of marriage, I think I can start speaking about that. So my first fiancée was Polish-German girl, and I think she taught me a lot of things. She taught me the Polish way of doing things. So that stayed with me. When I came to Canada, the first time when I was working for Cisco, I had some discriminatory situation. The guy who stood for me was a colleague of mine whose name is Maciej Budyski. 30 years ago, he stood for me. He's a Polish. The first time I met a politician, an MP, not a politician, an MP, member of parliament, strangely enough wasn't Egyptian. Actually, it was Polish. It was Caroline Barish. She was my MP, 1998. The first time, actually, I declared that I'm running for the provincial. It was in the Lakeshore in a Polish event in the MC, I believe, in 2016. So there is a big relation between me and the Polish community. And when I came here for the first time for the center, the St. John Paul Center, I was so impressed by the community build up, the relations, the strength of the community, and the strength relation with the church specifically, because my belief, since I've been for 20 years maybe working in the multiculturalism outreach, I think church has played a very, very important role to keep the culture, keep tradition, keep the language. As talking about Coptic church, we lost the Coptic language, but still in the church, till date, there's a Coptic language, even disappeared everywhere else. So without the incubation of the church and the integration between the church and the community, I think we would lost a lot of tradition and lots of history. So I would like to thank the Canadian Polish Congress for organizing, for arranging such an event, for bringing the community together. You are a good example of a community which I hope that my community someday can be. I always take you as an example. I keep telling them, please look to the Polish community. We would like to do that in 30 years, 20 years, or whenever number of years, but you are a great example of immigrants who can keep their culture, can keep their tradition, and I'm very happy, I'm very enjoying every time I come to a Polish event. I learn something new, and I feel always happy. Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much for MPP Gualtieri and Sabawi. Okay, so I now invite MPP Alexa Gilmore on behalf of the Leader of the Opposition.
Well, hello everybody. Dzień dobry. My name is Alexa Gilmore. I am the MPP for Parkdale High Park, and I am delighted to bring greetings on behalf of Marit Stiles, the leader of the official opposition in the provincial parliament. But I am really honored to be here as the MPP for Parkdale High Park. And it's hard right now because I'm thinking about the incredible things that have already been said, and I'm wondering, what is left to say except that this room, President, Ambassador, Consul General, elected officials, members of the clergy, distinguished guests, look at you. What an incredible, remarkable display of what this Congress has been able to achieve. Not just this year, but for the many decades that you have been here in Ontario, that we have built this relationship. And of course, Poland has been exemplary in its stance this year. A good neighbor to many, and at the edge of the fight for democracy. But then I think about my own little riding and the way in which Polish businesses like Café Polonaise are feeding body and soul, the way St. Casimir's church is keeping the faith and the culture alive on Roncesvalles Avenue in my riding. The way at Easter time, the children run with their baskets up the steps. The way down the street, the Copernicus Lodge is caring for our seniors and ensuring that they have a culturally appropriate way to live with dignity, and their families come and celebrate. And of course, perhaps not last but not least, the way so many of us are touched by the Polish culture through the Polish festival on Roncesvalles every single September.
I now invite MPP Lee Fairclough on behalf of the Ontario Liberal Party.
So, dobry wieczór. It truly is an honor to join with all of you today for this special New Year's wafer reception on behalf of the Ontario Liberal Caucus. I would like to thank President Dominic Rozak and the Canadian Congress, Polish Congress, for the invitation to take part in this powerful annual tradition, offering us a moment of reflection on the year gone by. Special greetings to His Excellency the Ambassador, who we've met this evening, but now I realize you're a very special ambassador, having won Ambassador of the Year. But I really appreciated your remarks and learning so much about what is happening in your country and with our relationship in Canada. And of course, it's so nice to join with so many fellow dignitaries from different levels of government. I know that MP James Maloney shares the pride that we have in Etobicoke Lakeshore to be the home of the Consul General of Poland in Toronto. So for me, this past year has been an incredibly meaningful one, being elected as a first-time MPP and spending the last few months hearing from those that I represent.
I didn't realize I was speaking, but I will say thank you very much for the opportunity. Dzień dobry. Did I say that somewhat correctly? I too want to say everything has already been said, but I do want to say a congratulations to the Ambassador. Thank you for your leadership and your connection into community, not only across Canada, in Ontario, but also right here in our city of Mississauga. And I believe our Mayor, Caroline Parrish, when she was up here, she did invite you back to our great city of Mississauga at any time, and I too extend that invitation. I have had the privilege and the honor of attending this New Year's Oplatek wafer reception over a number of years. And not only is it a symbol and a transforming symbol of what it means to be looking back and to be thankful, but also what it means to be looking forward on what we can all work together as community to achieve. And a number of the elected officials and very special guests that have already spoke about the importance of community. And I do want to say on behalf of the community that I represent, which is Ward 3, where I have many families of Polish background, I want to say thank you to all of them who always not only educate me on the importance of the different values that bring us together as part of community in our city of Mississauga, but also for throughout the year, 365 days of the year, members of the Polish community are always giving back and investing in our city of Mississauga. From young generation, whether it's through the Scouts, whether it's through the individuals that are volunteering and participating in the church, whether it is through our Karasaga Festival, whether it is volunteering or taking part in different community center activities, and also to the families that also invest in our city, in our great city of Mississauga.
Dzień dobry, szczęśliwego nowego roku. I'm, as always, delighted to be here. For some time I was the MPP for Mississauga East Cooksville, and this church and community center was a real pleasure as well as a privilege to be able to represent and support this community. And now I'm the City Councilor for Ward 7, and just by an inch I think you're outside my ward, but it's thank you for having me here today. And I'm really delighted to be able to take part in this wafer ceremony. I did a little bit of research. I don't know how many of you know this, but this ceremony first started in the 10th century. So think about that, 1100 years later, we are still practicing it. And that's just amazing.
Thank you to all of our distinguished guests for your warm greetings and kind words. We now move to the heart of our celebration, as we heard earlier, the sharing of the Oplatek. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with this beautiful Polish tradition that has been around for, sounds like 1,000 years, the Oplatek is a thin wafer similar to the communion host, decorated with images of the Nativity. The word Oplatek comes from the Latin oblatum, which means offering. My favorite part of the Oplatek is the fact that we believe that animals can talk at midnight on Christmas Eve. So my family, who's from rural Poland in Podkarpackie, would go at midnight to the barn to give a piece of the Oplatek to the horses and the cows and the chickens. So it is really for everybody. As we heard, for centuries, Polish families have gathered at Christmas to share the Oplatek as a gesture of forgiveness, reconciliation, and wishes for health and happiness in the coming year. As we break and share the wafer with one another tonight, we offer our good wishes and strengthen the bonds of our community. I now invite Father Wojciech Bła to offer a blessing of the Oplatek and grace. Following Father's blessing, we will share the Oplatek and wishes with one another, then enjoy our meal together. Just to note that there is also an cash bar that we have available just on my right on the other side.
So before we proceed with the sharing of wafer and the meal, let me just on behalf of the Polish Priest Association to extend our sincere Christmas and New Year wishes. For this new year 2026, I wish for you the blessing from the book of Numbers. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May his light scatter every darkness in the time of to come. May God shower you with His countless blessings throughout this new year, and may Mary, our Mother, keep you in her eternal maternal care. And now someone said, Paul's hungry, Paul's angry. So to avoid any, bad feelings, let's say together the prayer before our meal. Bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts which you are about to receive from your bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. And bless these wafers. And let's share, as it was said, it's a symbol of forgiveness, reconciliation, joy, and peace. God bless.